verse 20. For the creation was subject to futility. The word could be vanity. We call it being cursed, being empty. The creation was subject to this vanity, this emptiness, not willingly. It didn't want to be, but because of him who subjected it in hope. So we recognize that the whole of creation, heaven and earth, as we begin to see here that we're in a fallen world, and what we recognize is this: Paul is trying to teach us that in the suffering, it's basically an insignificant loss for an immeasurable gain. Once you are adopted and you're part of Christ, you go through the sufferings with him. And that's where in verse 17, if indeed we suffer with him, the suffering is a moment. The eternal glorification is for eternity. And so when we're here, keep in mind that the suffering is that we as redeemed saints, one thing that we recognize is verse 20, creation was subject to futility, not willingly. We already looked at that passage in Genesis, but I want to share with you this passage in Romans chapter 5, verse 12. It made this statement: therefore, just as through one man's sin entered the world, you could say it came into creation, and death, creation is now subject to death, futility, emptiness. What's the purpose of it? Now through sin, and thus death spread to all men because all sinned.